So let me ask you one simple, just enough question. If your tax dollars are about to fed a giant payout fund, should the president's inner circle, his donors, and even people convicted of beating cops be anywhere near it? Because in this flip, a Democratic senator tries to put basic guardrails on that exact scenario. And the Republican acting attorney general basically goes, yeah, and not promising you anything. Now, what's how the dodge works? Was the bird games? Was the deflection? Because it's not certain.
Case, I think it was Keepsiegel versus Vilsack under the previous administration. Did that case involve a president suing his own government and then settling that case before it could be reviewed or approved by a judge?
This is what oversight is supposed to look like. Not fluff, no cable news monologue, just a scalpel. Holmes is saying, stop hiding behind some random comparison. Answer the actual point. Did that other case involve the president suing his own government and then cutting a deal before a judge even reviews it? Yes or no?
So no, and neither does the
No.
commission.
It did not. And so when you suggested that they're nearly identical, they're not identical. I think there's a critical difference here. President Trump is the first president to sue his own government and then direct his chosen acting attorney general to reach this kind of settlement. Will you commit that none of President Trump's family will receive a direct payout from this fund?
Well, yes, but what you just said is not true. I mean, if I can correct that.
Please.
The president did not direct me to do anything. And secondly, when we said it was that the structure of the commission is similar to Keepsiegel, that's true. It wasn't the case. The underlying case is not the same. The structure of the commission is the same as the.
There it is. The first move. That's not true. And then immediately, listen to it. He shrinks the argument to a technicality. Not, is this an ethical nightmare? Not, will you block conflicts? No, it's actually the structure is similar. That's to tell. When somebody runs to semantics this fast, it's because the big picture things. And not this, but he doesn't do. He doesn't just say Trump's family won't get paid. He's that litigating phrasing put onto them because Combs isn't done.
Keepsiegel
Has
commission.
it ever happened that a sitting president sued his own government for $10 billion and then directed the settlement of the case and the establishment of a payout fund?
Not that I'm aware, but there's a lot of things that President Trump's the first of. No president had been indicted 1, 2, 3, 4, 5,
Correct.
6, 7, 8 times either.
Correct. No president's been indicted.
Stop. Stop right there. That is the full escaped has. Question is, has a president ever done this payout fund self-swings thing? Answer, well, Trump has been indicted. That's not an answer. That's reading marketing. That's taking an accountability question and trying to turn it into a victim story. And it's always the same play. When the distress get dangerous, they change the subject to what Trump. But Coase doesn't bite. What's but he does next? He goes right back to the men.
And will you commit that none of this money will go to President Trump's campaign donors?
I am not committing to anything beyond the settlement agreement itself. When you say campaign donors, that they are not excluded from seeking compensation.
Last
if they were
question.
weaponized.
During Police Week, I heard from a number of.
That's the headline. That's the whole scandal in one sentence. I'm not committing. You're the acting attorney general of the United States. You're sitting under oath, and you cannot bring yourself to say no donor money, no political payoff, no slush. Instead, you say donors are not excluded. And if you're at home thinking, okay, but maybe he just can't promise. No, this is about guardrails. If you can't even endorse the principle that donors shouldn't be able to cash in, then what exactly are we doing here? And now it gets worse because Coase bring up the part that should be automatic in a democracy. Don't revert people who attack police.
Law enforcement friends who found it appalling that there was the possibility that folks like the Oath Keepers, the Proud Boys who had assaulted Capitol police officers could receive multi-million-dollar payouts from this fund. will you commit that no one who has been convicted of assaulting a police officer will receive a payout from this fund?
So I shared the concerns that apparently members of law enforcement gave to you last week, although none of this was announced last week, so that's surprising. But
This is where I am done being polite. He shares the concern and then does nothing with them. Cause these are the easiest sentence in the world. No one convicted of assaulting a police officer will get paid. And Blanche won't say it. He won't commit. He won't draw the line. He hides behind anybody can apply, and a commission will set rules like that magically cleans his hands. No, if anybody can apply, that's exactly why you set exclusions up front. If you genuinely think it's a pally, then you don't leave the door open. You lock it. And understand what this does politically. It creates a system where extremists and insiders can take their stride, and then when the outrage hits, the people in charge say, hey, not my problem. Talk to the commission. That's not leadership. That's cowardice with paperwork.
They had
I
heard
accept
rumors
that.
there would be a settlement fund.
Okay, but anybody can apply. The commission will set. The commissioners will set rules. I'm sure. That's not for me to set. That's for the commissioners. And whether an individual, an oath keeper, as you just mentioned, applies for compensation, is anybody in this country can apply.
See, half as that turns into trivia. He's not eager to say, we will bar cop beaters. He's eager to say, well, and suppress the hearted last string. That's it, posture. Manage the optics, manage the timeline, manage the pressing, avoid the commitment.
Well, we'll be watching this very closely as this goes forward. I don't think the settlement fund should be set up this way or for these purposes. I appreciate your answers today.
And that's the grown up ending. We're watching you. Because what we just saw was an accountability test knife with 3 basic guardrails. Not Trump family payouts, not donor cash outs, not paying people convicted of assaulting police. And the acting age's posture over and over was deny the premise, hide in technicalities, refuse commitments, kick it to a commission. Here's what I want you to take from this. This isn't about structure. That's the distraction. This is about whether the Justice Department is going to function like a public institution or like a protective bubble where politically connected people get special names and everyone else gets excuses. Senator Chris Goins in doing what pro-democratic oversight looks like. Let questions, clear stakes, let nines. But Blanche could have met that moment with basic public trust promises. He chose not to. And when someone in that set refuses to commit to the simplest guardrails, family, donors, convicted cop assaulters, that's not caution. That's a neon sign saying, don't ask me to stop the worst case scenario. That's why people are disgusted with this. Not because they don't understand the process, because they understand it perfectly.